Hello, greetings, ladies and gentlemen, honorable academics, learned presenters, and listeners from all over the world. Welcome to the 7th ICTEL 2021, the International Conference on Teaching, Education and Learning, 23rd to the 24th of June 2021, Prague, Czech Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, I am both honored and I thank you. My gratitude to you for joining me in this keynote session for the 7th ICTEL 2021. The title of my keynote presentation is Educating, Developing and Changing, Technology-Enhanced Teaching and Learning in the ASEAN region for 2021 and beyond. ASEAN stands for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, most respected academics, colleagues, my name is Airil Haimi Muhammad Adnan. I am the head of future learning at my faculty, my academy, at University Technology Mara in Malaysia. I am also a fellow for the Center for Innovative Delivery and Learning at my university, and my focus is on VBL 360 videos, video-based learning. Let's get straight to our topic, and to do that, I would like to introduce you, all of you, into the VUCA world. Welcome to the VUCA world. Shouldn't say welcome, because VUCA is not actually a very happy place. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the time of VUCA. Things are volatile, things are uncertain, it's complex, it's ambiguous. I know all of you know this. The VUCA world has been hastened. It became quicker because of the global pandemic, but even before that, once we have reached the year 2020, we started in the year 2000, 2010, and now in 2021, day by day, as day by day goes, we enter the VUCA era, the VUCA world. Volatile, things, you need to react very quickly to the environment around us. Things are unpredictable, they are beyond our control, things are uncertain. We take action without certainty, it's complex, it's dynamic, it's ever-changing, and it's unfamiliar, it's ambiguous. So these four challenges in this new VUCA world, 2021-2020, is really something that we, all of us educators, need to think about. Now, VUCA in educating is a very important topic that all of us need to understand. In a dynamic, ever-changing world, how do we ensure these students in this class have the same access to education, have the same opportunities presented to them? I guess they are in primary level. Do they have the same opportunities open to them if they were in secondary level or higher level education, tertiary level education? So this is a challenge that we need to think about. Of course, looking back at the topic says that technology-enhanced T&L is the future. Not just, I guess, it's not just for the ASEAN region, but it's also for the rest of the world. Yeah? We are moving towards that direction. When we have to be confined to our houses, when we have to be quarantined in our homes, due to that fact, teaching and learning went online. So we know that the future will be different. The future will be different. We will not perhaps go back to the full brick and mortar model of education, of schools, of colleges and universities. Perhaps not fully that way. We might go towards hybrid learning. Part of it will be online, part of it will be physical. So technology enhanced teaching and learning is good, but at the same time, how do we ensure equal access? How do we ensure that opportunities are given at all levels of education? Right? So taking the ASEAN region as an example, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you a model that I've developed. Right? And this is the model looking at digital online learning objects from older and less interactive to newer and highly immersive ones. At the moment, we know, right, we've got the older instructional modules and courses in red, online research guides, weblogs, wikis, textual posts. We've got that. That has been around for, I think, quite some time. Then we move to the green area. We've got podcasts, audio recordings, slides. And then we've got the purple area. We've got infographics, screencasts, explainer videos coming in. Short videos, very useful for teaching and learning. Then we go to the blue area. It becomes more interactive. You've got polls, you've got games, you can vote when you're learning. So gamification is actually a very big thing in terms of teaching and learning. And we have many assessments that can be gamified. Now, in the orange area, you've got the newer, highly immersive teaching and learning tools. 360 degrees immersive videos, VR, AR, for example. So, the model is there. The structure is there. Now, the challenge is again, how do you fit everything within this VUCA world? How do you fit everything within this VUCA world? So I'd like to share with all of you, ladies and gentlemen, if I might, I'd like to share with all of you what is happening in terms of ASEAN students, for ASEAN students, but in higher education. So, from my research, I found out, right, looking at my survey respondents, this is a very big study that I did, 560 respondents. So are you ready for 360-degree videos? Are you ready for VR experiences in terms of helping you to learn? So they are okay with that. They think they're cool, but the problem is, you see, our internet sucks. Our internet sucks. So that issue is something for us to think about. I've got no answers. I'm just bringing this to you as the keynote. Let's think about, when you talk about technology, you got the framework, you know what to do, everything is ready, the rollout is pending, but how do we make sure something as simple as internet connectivity, the problem of internet connectivity, is solved from the outset? So this is a very big issue, something for us to really think about. And perhaps we need to work within a problem-solving framework whereby we move together with development, physical development. For example, we start from now developing 360-degree videos, VR learning environments. We start doing that, but at the same time, our governments, our education authorities also need to move with us in the same direction, developing internet infrastructure. You know, we are talking about ASEAN, where in some countries, in some places, in remote areas, for example, even electricity, basic electricity is not there, or it's intermittent. So these are issues, again, that we need to think about, especially if you're coming from a developing situation, a developing nation. But it's also, I think, relevant even for developed countries, because not everyone has equal access to this kind of infrastructure. Notice also that I mentioned there it's higher education, higher education, HE students. Are these same opportunities for VR-based learning, 360-degree videos, augmented realities, are they also open to students from the secondary level or primary level, or even lower than that for preschoolers? Do they have the same opportunities as their, brothers and sisters in higher education? So again, questions that need to be answered. But in terms of readiness, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, in ASEAN nations, most, if not all, of our students are ready for this kind of instruction. instruction. Looking again at the orange side, 360-degree immersive videos, VR learning environments, augmented reality, and even gamification, instructional games, and all that. Yeah, they're ready. They're more than ready. They're more than ready. But again, the question of structure, the structure to help us to further whatever is in this framework, that has to be worked on. Now, moving on. So how about another area? How about VBL, or video-based learning? Again, one of my areas, something that I love doing. Video-based learning, video-based instruction. If VR is a big issue, because yeah, you need goggles, right? If you do 360-degree videos, you will need something as basic as a mobile phone, a smartphone. You need that to view, right? You need that to view the experience, the 360-degree videos, right? At least something basic, but it has to be a smartphone. Now, how about VBL? So VBL is another focus area in ASEAN nations, and I'm happy to report that video-based learning for higher education, for example, in developed countries, in ASEAN nations, we are there. We are moving towards that direction. Remember the concept of flipped classroom? Nowadays, because again of the global pandemic, there's no choice. You like it, you don't like it, you need to flip your classroom because you're at home. I'm at home now, presenting to all of you. Right? So maybe we don't go for VR, but in terms of VBL, it'll be useful. VBL, developing something as simple as explainer videos, 60 seconds, 120 seconds, yeah, 5 minutes maximum. That would be very, very useful. Okay, not just in the ASEAN region, but other developing regions of the world. So VBL is excellent. But again, you have to think about things like production value. I cannot just take my mobile phone, I cannot just take my smartphone and start recording myself and call that VBL. I shouldn't do that, because I have to think about issues like production value, relevance, and how does my video again link to the objectives, the aims and objectives of my lessons. Right? My lesson plan, does it fit there? It's not just for the sake of making videos and you call it VBL. Again, but in terms of student readiness, not bad at all. Not bad at all. This research, this paper that I wrote, is actually based on input from students in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and in Brunei. So far so good. And I think one of the advantages also of using VBL materials, video-based learning materials, is because of deployment. It's easily deployed. You've got YouTube. Develop what you need to develop. Make sure the production value is high, it's good, it's great, and share it through YouTube. It's open to everyone, and learning can happen anytime, anywhere. Another area that I'd like to share with all of you, ladies and gentlemen, learned colleagues from all over the world, is about M-learning or mobile learning. So in terms of M-learning, this chart is actually based on another study that I carried out with my colleagues. Right? We found out that in the ASEAN region, about 96.2% of students, of all students that we surveyed, right, and that number's in about thousands over, they utilize mobile devices for their regular classroom learning. So they use their smartphones, their tablets, or whatever they have with them to help them learn. They use it, right? Only 3.8% don't use their smartphones in terms of regular learning. So we can see there, in terms of M-learning and ASEAN students, and I guess it's the same also in most countries, maybe even higher percentages in developed situations, we can see 73.8% users, they use mobile learning for doing research, searching for information. Of course, you have the mighty Google, right under your finger. So you have the mighty Google, they can help you taking photos or videos of lectures, classroom, using mobile application for learning, participating in discussion forums, learning via YouTube, don't forget, accessing and downloading learning materials. So, in terms of M-learning also, we are moving towards that direction. And linking back to the topic of this keynote, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, looking at VR, researching on VR, researching on VBL, researching on M-learning, mobile learning, right? In terms of educating our students, technology-enhanced TNL has very good potential, very high potential in this region. And again, it's not in just this region, I guess it's for all of us around the world. But again, the challenge is in terms of access, in terms of infrastructure, right? Because remember, we are living in this VUCA world, so access, letting everyone, all children, have the same access, not just our students at higher education, for example. That has to be made a priority. Now, so VR, AR, VBL, and M-learning are all moving in the right direction. So moving forward, change needs to happen. If you've been there, that is in Singapore, the Botanical Gardens, yeah, in Singapore. We want to be like Singapore, right? The most developed country in our region. We want to have that kind of infrastructure. But again, it's a challenge for us because Singapore, one, she's a rich country, but at the same time, her region, her physical boundaries are small, right? Geographical boundaries are small. Ours are much bigger, and some of us are even bigger. We've got Indonesia, for example. Don't forget, that country, she has about 300 million plus, right? 200 million population. The population is so big, 300 million. Hundreds of millions. Us in Malaysia, about 30 million plus. So again, moving forward, there must be a way for us to make sure that knowledge is shared, and perhaps what we're doing now, yeah, in terms of exchanging ideas, thinking about how we can move forward together. That has to be, I think, one of the focus, yeah, one of our main focus. Access, infrastructure issues, right? We really need to think about that, and we really need to find new ways to make sure that access is provided equally amongst any and all learners. I know, it sounds like an impossible, a mammoth task, but it has to be done, right? Because at the same time, we have to remember now what is happening is our students in ASEAN, they are showing very positive attitude, even to something as complicated as VR, even for VBL, of course, because VBL is easily deployed. And for M-learning, as you can see just now, right, that's like 97%, 98% of students are already using their mobile devices for some sort of learning. So, access, infrastructure, and maybe one day we can go up to the level of Singapore. Then, by then, things should be okay. And finally, before I close my keynote, thank you for staying with me in this keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, development has to come together with education. It's not just physical development, it's not just building more and more malls, yeah, more and more malls, but it's also thinking about the students in the classroom. So development is not just in terms of coming up with malls or coming up with more internet infrastructure, 5G and all that. We have to make sure that the positive social changes that happen through education and because of technology in education, technology-enhanced education, it can become a change agent, right? Because we have to remember, if you don't do anything about that, what will happen later on is you will have a technology gap, right? See that child maybe is crying, yeah? Right? That school student is crying, yeah? Technology gap. As you can see, a lot of the changes that are happening are in higher education. Higher education, when it should be, the foundation should be from the bottom, from the very basic. You should go from preschool to primary to secondary and then to tertiary higher education. But now changes are happening up there and it's not moving down. So that's a very big issue that we need to think about. If not, we might one day have a techno underclass, underclass students who are somehow disenfranchised from society because they cannot reap the benefits of technology enhanced teaching and learning wherever they are. So with that, I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening to me. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep the conversation going. I'd love to hear from all of you. If you have any thoughts and ideas about how we can enhance and truly make sure that the framework of technology enhanced teaching and learning becomes beneficial not just for the select few or for some rich students or for students in higher education, but to make sure that it goes above and beyond, and at one point in time, preschoolers, primary school students, pupils, secondary school students, pupils can have the same benefits and have the same technology enhanced teaching and learning experiences as their seniors in universities and colleges. Thank you so much for listening to me. I wish you all the best. Be safe. Pray all of you are safe and well, you and your families, wherever you are, and friends, of course. Let's be safe. We're still fighting the pandemic. Wish you all the best for the conference. Happy presenting. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.